There comes a moment in every soul's journey when silence becomes heavier than any truth ever could. At first, it feels safe, that silence. It shelters you, hides you from judgment, gives you space to pretend that everything is fine. But slowly, almost without notice, it starts pressing down on your chest like invisible weight. It suffocates you. It drains the color from your days. And eventually, you realize that silence is not peace, it is imprisonment. For me, that moment has arrived. Today, I can no longer carry the silence that's been eating away at my heart. The truths I've buried for so long have grown too loud to ignore, and every breath feels like it carries the weight of words I never dared to say. For nights on end, I've lain awake staring at the ceiling, haunted by my own thoughts. I replayed memories like old tapes, the laughter, the fights, the moments of connection that once felt unbreakable. And then the silence that followed, long, unbearable, deafening. It was in those sleepless hours that I questioned everything. Did I choose the right path? Did I let the wrong people in? Did I betray the very love that once made my life meaningful? Every time I tried to close my eyes, my mind would open every door I locked. And there, behind one of them, was the truth I kept running from. For the longest time, I told myself I could keep pretending, that if I stayed quiet long enough, maybe the guilt would fade. But guilt is patient. It waits. It grows roots in your chest until it becomes part of who you are. So here I am, standing before you, stripped of excuses, ready to confess the truth that has burned inside me for far too long. There was a third party, someone who came between us, someone I allowed into a space that was sacred, ours. And that single decision, that single moment of weakness, became the biggest mistake of my life. I don't say that to dramatize things. I say it because it's the truth I have lived with every day since it happened. The kind of truth that doesn't let you rest, that follows you in every reflection, in every song, in every quiet second when you're alone with yourself. When she first appeared, I didn't see her as a threat. Maybe that's how most mistakes begin, not with intention, but with blindness. She came into my life when I was confused, uncertain, and vulnerable. She spoke in ways that felt comforting, familiar, almost like she understood the parts of me I didn't want to show anyone else. And I convinced myself that it was harmless, that I could handle it, that I wasn't crossing any lines. But the truth is, the lines blur faster than you think. One moment, you're just talking, and the next, you're hiding those talks from the person who actually matters. That's how betrayal begins, not with a grand act, but with small omissions, little lies you tell yourself to justify what you already know is wrong. I built excuses. I told myself that what I was doing was just a way to escape stress, to distract myself from tension, to feel seen. But it wasn't escape, it was avoidance. It was cowardice. She wasn't the problem. I was. Because the truth is, I let her fill a space that wasn't empty. I just refused to face the discomfort within it. And in doing so, I lost sight of what was real. There was a moment, quiet, sharp, unforgettable, when everything changed. It was late, and I remember looking at her and realizing that no matter how close she was, she felt like a stranger. Her words didn't touch me. Her presence didn't warm me. Because in my heart, the only name echoing in the silence was yours. I saw then what I had done. I had traded depth for distraction, love for illusion, and all I was left with was emptiness. Her presence didn't add anything meaningful to my life. It took away what mattered most, the connection we built, the trust that made us feel safe, the love that used to anchor me. I had allowed a shadow to take the place of sunlight, and I was standing in the dark, realizing too late what I'd lost. She wasn't evil. She wasn't manipulative. She was simply a mirror reflecting the parts of me that were lost. But her presence pulled me away from my purpose, from my truth, from you. She distracted me with novelty, with attention, with false excitement, things that fade as quickly as they appear. She made me feel like I was gaining something new when in reality, I was losing something irreplaceable. Looking back, I see how blind I was. I see how I let the thrill of being wanted replace the peace of being known. And I see now that she never belonged in my life. Not in any chapter. Not in any story that had you in it. That's why I call her my greatest mistake. Not because she ruined me, but because I let her. Because I risked everything real for something hollow. And if I could go back, I wouldn't just undo that mistake. I would undo the version of myself who thought that kind of mistake was worth making. When I finally stepped away from her, it felt like stepping out of fog into sharp daylight. Painful at first, blinding even, but honest. And in that light, I saw everything clearly. The distance between us, the pain in your eyes, the parts of me I'd neglected in chasing something temporary. It hurt to see it, but it also healed something inside me. Because for the first time in months, I wasn't running anymore. I was standing still, facing the truth head on. This confession isn't about pity. It's not even just an apology, though I am sorry, more deeply than words can express. It's about acknowledgement, about taking responsibility without conditions, without defenses. You deserved honesty. You deserved loyalty. And though I failed to give you those things then, I intend to rebuild them now. One day, one act, one truth at a time. This experience has changed me. It stripped me bare, forced me to confront who I've become, and shown me what truly matters. I no longer crave attention. I crave connection. I no longer chase distraction. I choose devotion. And I promise you, I will never again let anything come between us. You are my compass, the center of every lesson I've learned. And from this moment on, I choose to live in truth, not comfort. Because truth may hurt, but it also heals. And healing with you is worth every ounce of pain it takes to get there. As I pour my heart out, I feel the presence of something higher guiding this confession, almost as if the universe itself is reminding me of what still lies ahead. So, let's look at what the cards reveal, not as fortune telling, but as symbols of transformation. The first card that appears is the Two of Pentacles. Its energy mirrors the state of my life right now, juggling responsibilities, trying to balance emotion and reason, past and present, regret and hope. It's the card of choice, of adaptability. It reminds us that even in chaos, we have the power to stay afloat, to move with the tide rather than drown in it. You might also be feeling this energy, trying to manage financial demands, emotional healing, and future plans all at once. It's not easy, but this card assures us that we're capable of handling more than we think. It calls for flexibility, the ability to flow instead of resist. Sometimes balance doesn't mean having everything perfect. It means learning to dance in the middle of imperfection. The second card that reveals itself is the Page of Cups, a symbol of new emotional beginnings, fresh inspiration, and intuitive guidance. This card carries youthful, hopeful energy, the kind that tells you something beautiful is about to begin. It might come as an unexpected opportunity, a message, a creative spark, or a chance to reconnect in a way that feels pure and heartfelt. The Page of Cups asks you to listen to your inner voice, to stay open to surprise. Sometimes blessings arrive softly, not as thunder, but as whispers that tug gently at your heart. You may soon receive an offer, an idea, or an invitation that ignites something deep within you. It could even be emotional healing, a conversation that changes everything. Be ready for it, because the universe is preparing to gift you something that aligns with your soul's true path. Then comes the Magician, one of the most powerful cards in the deck. It represents manifestation, potential, and self-belief. It tells you that you already possess everything you need to create the life you desire. The tools are within reach: your skills, your experiences, your intuition, your willpower. The magician's message is simple yet profound. You are not waiting for the universe. The universe is waiting for you. Whatever dreams you've been nurturing, financial success, reconciliation, creative growth, this card urges you to take action with confidence. Don't doubt your capabilities. Every setback you've endured has taught you something essential. You are equipped, prepared, and divinely supported. Now is the time to step forward, to speak your intentions aloud, to believe that you are worthy of the life you envision. But as powerful as manifestation can be, the Four of Cups appears as a gentle warning. It asks, are you overlooking the blessings already before you? Sometimes we become so focused on what's missing that we fail to see what's already there. The people who care, the small opportunities, the lessons disguised as delays. This card reminds you to pause, to breathe, and to appreciate what surrounds you right now. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a frequency that attracts more abundance. If you've been waiting for a financial sign or emotional healing, look closer. The answer might already be sitting quietly beside you, waiting for you to notice. The combination of these cards paints a powerful story, one of balance, renewal, and creation. The Two of Pentacles shows that while you may be juggling multiple responsibilities, perhaps income sources, debts, or projects, you have the ability to manage them. You are resourceful and adaptable, even under pressure. The Page of Cups invites you to stay open to intuitive or creative opportunities, perhaps a new venture, collaboration, or idea that brings both emotional satisfaction and financial potential. The Magician confirms that you have everything you need to turn that idea into reality. This is your time to act, to manifest, to trust in your power. And the Four of Cups reminds you not to let discouragement blind you. Sometimes abundance doesn't arrive through new doors, it blooms from the ones we've neglected. Together, these cards whisper a truth. The universe is not withholding blessings from you, it's waiting for you to recognize and receive them. This confession, this reading, this entire experience, it all leads back to one core truth: redemption through awareness. The silence that once felt safe has now been broken, and in its place stands something sacred: understanding. I've learned that the soul doesn't evolve through perfection. It evolves through pain, through mistakes, through humility. I've also learned that every detour has a purpose, that even my worst decisions led me to self-realization, and that forgiveness, both giving and receiving, is the most divine act of all. As I look ahead, I no longer carry the same fear that once kept me quiet. Yes, there's guilt. Yes, there's sorrow. But there's also strength. The strength that comes from finally facing yourself and saying, I choose truth over comfort. I know I can't undo the past, but I can shape what comes next. And what comes next will be built on honesty, devotion, and growth. The energy now is one of renewal, financial, emotional, and spiritual. There's momentum building. The Magician and Page of Cups promise creativity and prosperity. The Two of Pentacles ensures balance. The Four of Cups reminds you to appreciate every step along the way. The universe isn't done with you or with us. It's just beginning to write the next chapter. So here I stand, no longer hiding, no longer silent. The truth is painful, yes, but it's also freeing, because only when we admit the weight we've carried can we finally set it down. If my words reach you today, I hope you feel the sincerity behind them. I hope you see not just regret, but transformation. And I hope you understand that beneath all the chaos and mistakes, my love for you never disappeared. It only got buried under fear and pride. Now, that fear is gone, and what remains is raw, real, and ready to rebuild. The cards close with a final whisper from the divine. What was broken was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to awaken you. You are stronger than your past. You are wiser than your mistakes. And everything that has fallen apart was preparing you for alignment, for purpose, for love that is authentic and enduring. The silence has finally ended, and in its place, there is truth, and truth, dear soul, is the language of freedom.